Okay, so picture this. You've got four, like, really high-profile tech executives. We're talking people from Meta, OpenAI, Palantir,
Okay.
the ones really shaping our digital world.
Right, the big names.
Exactly. And they're standing there not in, fancy suits, but in full combat gear, boots, the whole thing, swearing an oath to defend the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're not just advisors. They've actually been made lieutenant colonels in this new U.S. Army unit, Detachment 201, focused on tech innovation for combat.
Lieutenant colonels, that's significant.
It really is. The Secretary of the Army, Daniel Driscoll, he put it bluntly, we desperately need what they are good at.
Sums it up.
So today we're doing a deep dive into what feels like a huge shift in Silicon Valley, a really profound pivot, moving away from just consumer tech and getting deeply involved with the military-industrial complex. It's pretty startling, honestly. We're seeing big policy changes, a flood of investment money.
And ethical lines getting redrawn, it seems.
Totally. Lines people thought were like set in stone.
Right.
So our mission today is to unpack all of this. What's driving it? How did we get from, do no evil to this? We'll look at the history, the current geopolitics pushing things forward, and the big questions this raises for everyone.
And that ceremony you mentioned, it really feels like more than just optics, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not just the military asking for advice. It feels like they're actively, recruiting these leaders, putting them in uniform.
Yeah, embedding them.
Embedding, exactly. It suggests a much deeper level of integration, a real commitment on both sides. It makes you wonder about the future, where those lines between tech and defense just blur completely.
You've nailed it. It's not consultants dropping by. This was back in June?
Yeah.
At Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall.
Okay.
And it was Andrew Bosworth, Meta CTO, Shyam Sankar from Palantir, Kevin Weil, OpenAI CPO, and Bob McGrew, formerly OpenAI, now at Thinking Machines Lab.
A heavy-hitting group.
Definitely. All sworn in. And they've done basic training since then. Bosworth is even doing annual reserve duty days.
So it's a real commitment.
Yeah.
Not just a photo op.
Not at all. It's like full immersion. So what does that direct embedding mean when these folks are still, running major parts of their companies?
Well, I think it fundamentally changes the relationship, doesn't it? It's like the military isn't just looking outside for help anymore.
Right.
They're trying to bring that Silicon Valley mindset, the speed, the innovation, the disruptive thinking right inside their own operation.
Externalizing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like saying, okay, the old ways of developing defense tech aren't fast enough. We need this way of thinking right here, right now. It's a big admission about where the real cutting edge is.
And it's such a complete turnaround from just, 5-10 years ago?
Oh, completely.
Remember when the big slogans were all connecting the world, do no evil?
Vaguely, yes. Seems like a different era now.
It does. Back then, many companies had actual policies against using AI in weapons. Working on defense contracts was, deeply unpopular.
Right, you had major employee pushback.
Huge pushback. Google's Project Maven in 2018 is the classic example. Using AI for drone footage analysis, thousands of employees protested.
And it had real consequences.
It did. Google ended up dropping out of the race for that massive $10 billion GDI cloud contract.
The big Pentagon cloud deal, yeah.
And they even published these guiding principles saying basically, no AI for weapons. That was the line.
And now that line seems to have vanished.
Yeah.
Almost overnight.
It's incredible how fast it's happened.
It really is. We're talking about major policy reversals happening in quick succession. Just this past January, OpenAI, quietly deleted the language banning its tech for weapons development or military and warfare.
Quietly is the word.
And Meta did something similar last year. Then Google, the company that set those original no weapons rules, got rid of its ban back in February.
Wow.
It's not gradual. It feels coordinated almost, like something big shifted under the surface, forcing this change across the board.
And these aren't just words on paper, right? We're seeing the real-world results already.
Absolutely. This is translating into actual products, actual applications.
Like OpenAI working on anti-drone tech.
Exactly. Or Meta, Metaverse.
Yeah.
Developing VR glasses specifically to train soldiers.
Partnering with Endural, right, the defense tech startup.
That's the one. So yeah, it's happening now. Civilian tech, tailored for the military. How fast do you think this keeps accelerating?
Given the momentum, I'd say significantly faster, because behind all this, there's just a mountain of money flowing in.
Ah, the money trail.
Yeah.
Always follow the money.
Always. Venture capital investment in defense-related companies, it jumped 33% last year alone.
33%.
Yep. reaching $31 billion, according to McKinsey. That's not just a small uptick, that's a huge shift in where the big investment bets are being placed.
31 billion. That's serious capital. It signals that investors see defense tech as, well, a major growth area now, not just some niche thing.
And it's the big players, too. Andreessen Horowitz, A16z's, they announced $500 million for defense tech and what they call American dynamism companies back in 2023.
Right. David Yulovich there said it was necessary and urgent.
Pretty clear statement. And maybe even more telling culturally is Y Combinator.
The big startup incubator. Airbnb, DoorDash.
That's them. They funded their first ever defense startup just last year. That feels like a watershed moment.
Definitely a cultural marker.
And Raj Shah from Shield Capital put it plainly. Protecting democracies is important. You have bad authoritarians out there. It's a mix of profit motive and maybe geopolitics.
So what does that level of VC backing say compared to, say, investing in the next social media app or whatever?
Well, it says defense tech isn't niche or risky anymore, right? It's mainstream, high growth potential.
It suggests they see stable, long-term potential there. Government contracts, big problems to solve.
Exactly. And maybe dual use potential, too. Tech that works for defense and civilian markets.
Could be. The geopolitical climate has certainly made it feel like a safer bet, maybe even a necessary one for some investors. And we're already seeing the success stories emerge.
Like Anduril, founded by Palmer Luckey, the Oculus VR guy.
Right? Pivoted hard into AI-backed weapons.
And they're landing huge contracts. $642 million for anti-drone tech with the Marines, $250 million for air defense from the DoD. Their valuation is massive after raising another $2.5 billion just this June.
$30 billion, wasn't it? That's staggering.
It is. Then there's Regent, their CEO, Billy Thalheimer. He talked about the stigma around defense tech back in 2021 when he was at Y Combinator. Said everyone else was doing crypto. Now he sees hundreds of startups focused on defense, a real hype cycle.
And Regent builds those electric sea gliders, right,
Yeah.
for the military.
Yeah, raised over $100 million, got a $15 million Marine contract. And look at Skydio, the autonomous drone company.
Okay.
Their founder, Adam Bryce, said getting military contracts used to take forever, like 3 years for his first one.
Yeah, bureaucracy.
Exactly. But a recent one, less than a month.
Wow. That's a huge change in speed.
Huge. They just signed a $74 million deal with the State Department, too. So it's not just money. It's the whole pathway from idea to deployment getting faster. What's making the military move so quickly all of a sudden?
I think a lot of it comes down to, well, frankly, the wars in Ukraine and Gaza.
Right. Real-world testing grounds, unfortunately.
Exactly. They've shown in very stark terms how crucial autonomous drones and AI-driven weapons are on the modern battlefield. It's been a wake-up call for the Pentagon.
So it forced a change in priorities, accelerated modernization.
Absolutely. There's this urgent realization that warfare has changed, and you need this tech to compete, maybe even just to survive.
And it's not just about the current conflicts, is it? There's the bigger picture, competition with China.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge underlying driver. Google even mentioned it, this global competition for AI leadership. It's about long-term strategic advantage, maintaining influence, ensuring security through tech dominance.
So this AI arms race, what are the long-term risks? Does it just keep escalating?
That's the big question, isn't it? On one hand, competition drives innovation incredibly fast. We could see amazing breakthroughs.
But on the other?
On the other, yeah, it could be destabilizing. A constant cycle of one-upmanship, new kinds of conflict. It's a serious concern. And the political climate is pouring fuel on this fire.
You mean the funding?
The funding, yes, and the political backing. The Trump administration supported this. There was that executive order in April about speeding up military tech acquisition.
Right.
And then there's the budget. A record $1 trillion allocated for defense in 2026, specifically calling out things like autonomous drones.
$1 trillion. Silicon Valley must be seeing dollar signs.
As the source material puts it, they're eagerly eyeing that bonanza. The political will and the money are aligned, making this whole shift very, very powerful.
And it feels like the sentiment within the Valley has shifted, too. It's not just about money or politics.
How so?
Well, Andrew Bosworth, one of the new lieutenant colonels from Meta, he talked about a stronger patriotic underpinning than people realize.
Interesting. A sense of national duty emerging, maybe?
Seems like it. And J.D. Vance, the former VC himself, invested in Anduril. He said we shouldn't fear these technologies, we should dominate them.
Right. So it's Patriotism plus profit plus strategic necessity.
It's a potent mix. Makes it feel deeply embedded now.
It really does. And, stepping back, what's fascinating is that this isn't entirely new territory for Silicon Valley.
You mean its origins?
Exactly. In many ways, this is a return to its roots. Before the consumer tech boom, who was the first big investor in that region back in the 50s?
The Defense Department, competing with Russia.
Precisely. The DoD was effectively Silicon Valley's first VC, funding companies during the Cold War. It's like history repeating itself, or coming full circle.
That's wild to think about. And DARPA, right, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Incubated so much foundational tech.
Including the internet itself, which, basically created modern Silicon Valley.
It did. Even Google's founders, Brin and Page, got DARPA funding early on for their search work back in '98.
So this deep connection was always there. How did it get sort of forgotten or pushed aside, only to come roaring back now?
That's a great question. And maybe Palantir is part of the answer to why it was forgotten and why it's back?
Because they never forgot. They were always focused on defense.
Pretty much. Founded in 2003, they were the outlier, really enthusiastic about defense work when others weren't. Their CEO, Alex Karp, even sued the Army in 2016.
Sued the Army? Why?
To force them to consider commercial software, like Palantir's, instead of just building everything in-house, and he won.
Wow.
And look at them now. Their market value is huge, bigger than many traditional defense giants combined. Karp even said others in the Valley are now following our lead.
So Palantir kind of proved the model, showed it could be incredibly successful.
You could definitely argue that. They stuck to their guns, pardon the pun, and now their path looks like the smart one to many others.
But, okay, as more companies follow that path, what about the people inside, the engineers, the executives building this stuff? Is everyone comfortable?
Well, that's where it gets complicated. Our sources point to a real internal debate, some serious ethical wrestling going on.
So not everyone's fully on board.
Not necessarily. You have proponents like Sam Altman at OpenAI who talk about pride in working on national security, supporting the U.S. and allies, upholding democratic values.
Right. The democracy should lead an AI argument, like Google put it.
Exactly. There's a strong justification based on national interest and values, a kind of moral imperative almost. But there's the other side. Deep concerns, especially about autonomous weapons. People inside Google and Meta are reportedly struggling with the potential harms.
Like what happens once these AI weapons are out there?
Precisely. How much control do we really have? Could they escalate conflicts, cause more casualties, especially when decisions are made at machine speed? It's about accountability.
So how do you balance that, the need for speed and innovation versus these huge ethical questions?
That is the central tension, isn't it? The drive to compete, to win, to deploy quickly. It doesn't always leave room for slow, careful ethical thought.
Yeah. Margaret O'Mara, the tech historian, she noted that these companies are hyper-competitive. And in their rush to get into defense, there isn't always a lot of pausing to think.
Which is a scary thought, given the stakes. Can we realistically build ethical guardrails fast enough when the technology itself is moving at lightning speed? Or does the race just overwhelm the caution?
It's a race where the consequences are incredibly high, not just market share, but potentially, life and death.
A high-stakes race indeed.
Yeah.
So recapping, we traced this really striking arc. Silicon Valley moving from do no evil and reluctance to a full-throated embrace of the defense sector, driven by geopolitics, big money, maybe a renewed patriotism.
We're seeing policies flip, VC money pouring in, startups booming, tech getting deployed faster than ever. It's a total realignment.
And this isn't just an industry story, is it? It affects everyone listening.
Absolutely. It impacts how wars might be fought, the kind of tech that dominates our future, and these really thorny ethical issues about autonomous systems that society has to grapple with. It changes the whole role of tech in the world.
Definitely pushes us to ask some big questions.
Which leads us to our final thought. As we see this convergence, this deep integration of Silicon Valley's innovation engine with national security's demands, what does it actually mean for innovation itself?
Does it supercharge it, or maybe narrow its focus?
Right. Does focusing so much on defense pull resources and brain power away from other potential breakthroughs? Or does it create unexpected spin-offs? And maybe more fundamentally, how does it shift the balance of power?
Between the creators of the tech and the users, the ones who wield it.
Exactly. What happens when that Silicon Valley drive for speed and disruption crashes into the ultimate stakes of warfare? Who's really in control when algorithms are making decisions that could have global consequences?